What's up, my Whovian homies? I am the Doctor Who Kid, and today we are looking at The Haunting of Villa Diodati. I think that's how you say it. Look, sorry I didn't do this a week ago, but it was half term and my parents wanted me to do stuff with them, so we went to a log cabin where there was no internet at all. We just had TV. Yeah, I know. Nightmare. That's totally the only reason I put this review off. Wasn't scared or anything. Nope. I don't get scared, me. Okay, so this episode takes place in this big mansion called Villa Diodati, where these four people are just chilling around, having a lark and telling ghost stories. These people include Mary Shelley, the writer of Frankenstein, some dude named Lord Byron, who's the host of this fine party, these two other people, one of whom is an Indian, a person of colour in a time period people like to pretend only had white people in it. Don't tell Bowel Shrek, he'll get upset. And there's also a butler, an Annie, and a baby. And of course, soon the party finds themselves with unexpected guests in the form of the Doctor and companions. The Doctor has decided to take her companions to this historic night, which is when Mary Shelley will create Frankenstein, as a way to let the companions relax and take a breather after all the heavy mental health stuff that was apparently going on last time. Also, the habit of Ryan flirting with everyone continues. Now he's sharing conversations with Mary Shelley. Like, dude, the woman's married. Or at least she will be in a few years. But they soon discover that all is not quite as it seems in the house. For one thing, Percy Shelley, Mary's future husband, is missing. Also, they're just having a lark instead of actually telling ghost stories, which is really weirding everyone out, because that's how this night is supposed to go. They tell ghost stories, and then Frankenstein happens. So they start wandering around trying to figure out what's going on, especially when it becomes apparent that something spooky is going on. Vases are like being flung across the room by invisible hands. There's these spectres appearing everywhere. Everyone keeps going upstairs only to find themselves in wrong parts of the house where the stairs do not lead to, or just looping back. One guy walks through walls. Wait a minute. Infinite stairs that take you nowhere? Going through walls? Oh my god, they're trapped inside Super Mario 64! So anyway, they do this larking about, and the guy who walks through the wall happens to be sleepwalking, which leads the Doctor to figure out that this whole house is under a massive perception filter, which is explaining why all the looping around is going on. They think they're going one place, but they're actually being led to other places. And then the Doctor is also able to figure out that the Spectre is something from the future trying to make its way into the past. And then it does so. And it's a Cyberman! A lone Cyberman! Wait, that sounds familiar. Oh yeah, Captain Jack said something about this. Don't give the lone Cyberman what it wants, and so else something very bad will happen. Oh no. And this lone Cyberman is actually really cool. He's like half finished, and like he's got a normal face. Like half of his face is cyber faceplates, and the other half is like the person that was there underneath. And he's just chilling around, acting like a slasher monster. He kills the butler. He kills the maid. He picks up the baby, and it leaves you thinking he's gonna kill the baby, but he doesn't. And it's like really tense. And then they eventually find Percy Shelley. He's in the basement! And he's been infected with a liquid metal cyber AI called the Cyberium, which is the thing that it wants. Okay, that should be fairly simple. Don't give the lone Cyberman what it wants. Unfortunately, the Cyberium is killing Percy Shelley because he's human and can't handle it for much longer. Oh, great, there's always a catch. Oh yeah, while I'm here I should also add that Percy Shelley was rendered invisible thanks to the perception filter, meaning that he was the one flinging around the vases and appearing as apparitions almost. But yeah, the Cyberman shows up again, and they sort of imply the Cyberman is what leads to Mary Shelley coming up with the idea for Frankenstein's monster. Only Frankenstein's monster is much kinder than the Cyberman turns out to be, because despite it not having its emotional inhibitors activated and still having very much a whole load of rage and stuff, it is not a nice person. It is all fully for the cyber cause. Honestly, even more frightening than the idea of Cybermen suppressing their emotions. But yeah, Percy Shelley's dying, the Cyberman wants the Cyberium, and they have to decide whether they give it the Cyberium or let it kill Percy Shelley. And Ryan's like, let him die. And the Doctor's like, no, he's a very important writer-artist dude. His poems could inspire millions. If we let him die now before he writes the poems, who knows what kind of effect that could have? Which is a very interesting moral quandary, and certainly a fresh take on the whole needs of the many conflict. Because screw the many, you never know the kind of effect one person could have. It's a really nice message, really in keeping with the whole thing Matt Smith said once upon a time. 900 years of time travel and I never met anyone who wasn't important. Unfortunately, this mindset leads to the Doctor giving the Cyberium to the Cyberman and really trapped in a no-win situation, and it vanishes off into the future to do bad stuff for next episode. Also, there's this one bit where the Doctor is all like, yeah, you know I say that we're all equal and stuff? Yeah, well, we're not equal. I'm leader. You have to do what I say because I'm much more cleverer than you, because I am an alien and you are just humans along for the ride. And that reminds me of something David Tennant would do, especially in the Time Lord Victorious phase. The companions don't have much of a reaction. I'm wondering if that will lead to anything down the line. So then the Doctor and companions decide to leave the house, discussing everything that's happened and about to happen. And then Graham is all like, you know, I don't get it. How come there were these ghost girls who popped up and all they did was give me a sandwich? What did that have to do with the cyber stuff? And everyone's just like... So wait, does this mean that Villa Diodati is haunted? Well, that's the Haunting of Villa Diodati. Very tense atmosphere, great use of horror elements, awesome new take on the Cyberman, and fun characters, fun scenes, a baby. All in all, I rate it 10 out of 10, best Doctor Who episode ever. Well, I am the Doctor Who Kid, and I will see you next time for Ascension of the Cyberman. You know, there was this guy who used to comment on my videos a lot. I wonder what happened to him. People like to pretend only had white people in it. Don't tell Battle Shrek, he'll get upset.